Welcome to the world of science fiction. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss new stories. Enjoy the listening. Luna's knees buckled beneath her as another wave of dizziness struck. The twin suns of Iridia blazed overhead, their merciless heat radiating off endless waves of copper-colored dunes. She stumbled, catching herself with one blue-skinned hand against the scorching sand. Her water pack, now nothing more than dead weight, hung empty at her hip. "Not here," she whispered, her star-flecked eyes scanning the horizon. "I didn't come this far to die in this wasteland." The mission specifications echoed in her mind. Locate the ancient water source, secure it for her people, return home a hero. Simple. Except no one had mentioned the magnetic storms that would disable her navigation systems, or the sand raiders that would steal half her supplies 3 days ago. Another step, then another. Her boots, designed for the crystalline floors of her homeworld cities, sank into the fine sand with each movement. The wind picked up, whipping strands of her silver-white hair across her face. In the distance, heat mirages danced, taunting her with false promises of relief. A shadow flickered at the edge of her vision. Luna froze, every muscle tensing. Out here, movement usually meant death, either from the massive sandworms or the equally dangerous desperate travelers. She reached for her pulse pistol, only to remember the power cell had died 2 days ago. The shadow materialized into a humanoid figure approaching with a steady, unhurried stride. Luna's heart hammered against her ribs. Run or stand her ground? In her weakened state, either choice could prove fatal. The figure resolved into a man, tall, broad-shouldered, dressed in desert gear that had seen better days. Human, by the look of him, though that meant little on Iridia. His face was partially obscured by a sand wrap, but his eyes caught her attention immediately, sharp, intelligent, and fixed directly on her. "You're a long way from anywhere," he called out, his voice carrying easily across the sand. He raised his hands, showing they were empty, and looking a bit worse for wear. Luna straightened, fighting another wave of dizziness. "I could say the same about you." Her universal translator rendered her words into standard Earth English, though her throat was too dry for proper speech in any language. The stranger closed the distance between them with measured steps. Now she could see the details: the well-worn grip of a kinetic pistol at his hip, the various survival tools attached to his belt, the way he moved like someone who knew the desert intimately. Not a raider, then. They traveled in packs and didn't waste time with conversation. "Name's Alex," he said, reaching up to pull down his sand wrap. His face was all angles and shadow, with several days' worth of stubble and a scar that traced his jaw. "And you look like you could use this." He unclipped a water flask from his belt. Luna's eyes fixed on the flask, her body screaming for hydration. But survival instincts died hard. "Nothing's free on Iridia." A smile tugged at one corner of his mouth. "True enough, but I'm not in the habit of watching people die of thirst when I can help it." He held out the flask. As Luna reached for it, her gaze caught on something else, a tattoo on his wrist, partially visible beneath his sleeve. Her breath caught. The symbol was unmistakable, 3 interlocking circles bisected by a vertical line. The same symbol that appeared in her people's most ancient texts, speaking of a time before the Great Exodus. She took the flask, forcing herself to drink slowly despite her body's demands. The water was cool, with a slight mineral taste common to desert-filtered water. But as it hit her system, something else happened. A warmth that had nothing to do with temperature spread through her limbs, followed by a tingling sensation that made her skin prickle. "Feeling it, aren't you?" Alex's voice had dropped lower, touched with amusement. "The old ones called it the water bond, ancient ritual of Iridia. When you share water with someone out here, it creates a connection. Energy link, some say. Binding, others call it." Luna lowered the flask, staring at him. You're joking. Am I? He tapped his temple with 2 fingers. You're feeling better now, but still tired. Your left boot is chafing, and you're trying very hard not to think about the symbol on my wrist, even though you recognized it immediately. A chill ran down Luna's spine despite the heat. He was right, about all of it. And now that he mentioned it, she could sense things about him too. A deep-seated confidence, genuine amusement at her reaction, and something else, something hidden beneath the surface. That's impossible, she said. But even as the words left her mouth, she knew they weren't true. Her people had legends about such things, stories of ancient abilities lost to time. Alex shrugged, taking back the flask. Impossible is a big word for a universe this strange. His fingers brushed hers during the exchange, and Luna felt a spark of something jump between them. Besides, now you're stuck with me, whether you like it or not. Stuck with you? Water bond works both ways. He grinned, and Luna felt her pulse quicken in response. I can sense you just like you can sense me. Useful thing out here in the desert. Keeps people honest. Luna crossed her arms, trying to ignore how his grin affected her. And what if I don't want to be bound to a stranger? Bit late for that. Alex's eyes sparkled with mischief. But don't worry. I'm told I grow on people, like a fungus. Despite herself, Luna felt a smile tugging at her lips. That's not as reassuring as you might think. You smiled, though. He pointed at her face. I felt it, physically, and... He gestured between them. Through whatever this is. Luna quickly schooled her features. You're very sure of yourself for someone who just met a strange alien in the desert. Strange? Yes? Alien? His eyes traced over her figure in a way that made her simultaneously want to slap him and step closer. You look pretty human to me. Just bluer. There's a lot more different than just the color. I look forward to finding out exactly how different. The words could have been crude, but his tone carried genuine curiosity mixed with playful flirtation. Through their new connection, Luna sensed no malice, only interest and something else she couldn't quite name. A gust of wind swept across the dunes, carrying stinging sand with it. Alex glanced at the horizon, his expression turning serious. Storm's coming. We should find shelter. He looked back at her. Unless you've got somewhere specific you're heading. Luna hesitated. Her mission was supposed to be secret, but with this new connection between them, how much could she really hide? Besides, she was lost, out of water, and running out of options. I'm looking for something, she said carefully. An ancient source of water. There are stories. The wellspring. Alex's interest sharpened visibly. Now that's interesting, because I might know something about that. He held out his hand. What do you say? Partner up? At least until we get out of this storm. Luna looked at his offered hand, then at the tattoo on his wrist, the symbol that shouldn't exist here, that raised more questions than answers. Everything about this situation screamed danger, but she took his hand. Through their touch, she felt his satisfaction, his amusement, and underneath it all, a current of excitement that matched her own. Partner up, she agreed. But I'm watching you. Wouldn't have it any other way. Alex squeezed her hand once before letting go. Besides, you couldn't stop watching me if you tried. I can feel it. Luna felt her cheeks warm and knew he could sense that too. This connection between them was going to be complicated. The storm, she reminded him, trying to change the subject. Right. He gestured to a ridge of rock formations in the distance. There's a cave system about 2 kilometers that way. We can wait it out there. He started walking, then looked back over his shoulder. Coming, partner? Luna followed, watching his confident stride and trying to sort through the mess of emotions, both his and hers now flowing between them. One thing was certain. Whatever game this mysterious human was playing, he knew far more than he was letting on. The cave system loomed before them, wind-carved entrances yawning like ancient mouths in the rock face. Luna followed Alex's lead, noting how he moved with practiced familiarity through the narrow passages. The temperature dropped noticeably as they ventured deeper, a blessed relief from the scorching heat outside. "Watch your step here," Alex said, extending his hand to help her over a rough patch of ground. The moment their skin made contact, that now familiar warmth surged through their connection. Luna caught flashes of his surface thoughts, concern for her safety mixed with an underlying current of anticipation. "You've been here before," she said, making it a statement rather than a question. Alex's laugh echoed off the cave walls. "Can't hide much from you anymore, can I?" He activated a light stick, casting the cave in a soft blue glow that made Luna's skin shimmer. "I use these caves as a waypoint, good shelter, hidden water collection system, and—" He paused, studying her reaction. "Interesting wall markings." Luna's attention snapped to the cave walls. In the blue light, ancient glyphs became visible, similar to those in her people's texts. Her heart raced, and through their bond, she felt Alex's satisfaction at her recognition. "You knew these would be here," she accused, turning to face him. "You knew I would recognize them." "I had a hunch." He leaned against the cave wall, arms crossed. The gesture might have seemed casual, but Luna sensed the intensity behind his relaxed posture. "Just like I had a hunch about where to find a blue-skinned woman wandering the desert." "Who are you really?" Luna demanded, taking a step closer. Despite her suspicion, she couldn't help noticing how the blue light caught his features, highlighting the sharp angles of his face. "I told you, I'm Alex." He pushed off from the wall, moving into her personal space. "The real question is, why are you pretending you don't know exactly who I am?" Luna's breath caught. Outside, the storm howled, but in here, the air seemed to crackle with tension. Through their bond, emotions tangled and merged. Her uncertainty, his challenge, and underneath it all, a mutual pull they both felt, but neither acknowledged. "The symbol on your wrist," she said finally. "It marks you as one of the departed. But that's impossible. They vanished centuries ago." "Did they?" Alex's voice dropped lower. "Or did they just go somewhere else? Somewhere they could wait and watch and—" He reached out, fingers hovering near her face but not quite touching. "Prepare." Luna fought the urge to lean into his, almost touch. "Prepare for what?" The cave trembled as a particularly violent gust of wind tore through the desert outside. Alex's hand dropped, but his eyes remained locked on hers. "That's the real question, isn't it? The one you've been afraid to ask since you first saw my tattoo." "I'm not afraid," Luna insisted, even as their bond betrayed her uncertainty. Alex's smile turned knowing. "No? Then why is your heart racing?" He took another step closer, and Luna found herself backed against the cave wall. "Why can I feel your curiosity fighting with your caution?" His hand came up again, this time brushing a strand of silver hair from her face. The contact sent sparks through their connection. "Why are you fighting so hard against what you already know?" Luna swallowed hard, trying to maintain her focus despite the distracting swirl of shared sensations between them. "And what exactly do I know?" "That this isn't a coincidence." His fingers traced down her cheek, leaving trails of warmth in their wake. "The water bond, the symbols, you and me meeting here. It's all part of something bigger, something set in motion long before either of us was born." "By the departed?" Luna managed to ask, fighting to keep her voice steady. "By those who knew what was coming." Alex's hand dropped to her shoulder, and through their connection, she felt his own struggle, the desire to reveal more warring with the need for caution. But we're not having that conversation until this storm passes and you've had proper rest." Just like that, he stepped back, breaking the moment. Luna felt the loss of contact like a physical thing, their bond humming with shared frustration and unresolved tension. "There's a chamber further in with some supplies," Alex said, his voice returning to its earlier casual tone, though Luna could feel the effort it took him to maintain that lightness. "We can wait out the storm there." Luna watched him gather his light stick, noting how carefully he moved, like someone carrying far more secrets than he let show. "I still don't trust you," she said. Alex glanced back at her, that infuriating half-smile playing at his lips. "Yes, you do. That's what's really bothering you." He started down the passage, calling over his shoulder, "Coming, partner?" Luna pushed off from the wall, following him deeper into the cave system. He was right. She did trust him, despite every rational argument against it. Their bond hummed between them, a constant reminder of their connection. The storm passed by morning, leaving the desert transformed. Rippling dunes stretched to the horizon like waves frozen in copper, their surfaces etched with wind-carved patterns that seemed to shift in the early light. Luna stood at the cave's entrance watching the twin suns rise while behind her, Alex packed their supplies. "You're brooding again," he called out, their bond transmitting his amusement. "I can feel it from here." "I'm thinking," Luna corrected, turning to face him. "There's a difference. Not the way you do it." He shouldered his pack, then tossed hers over. Through their connection, she felt his underlying concern beneath the teasing. "Ready to face the desert?" Luna caught the pack, adjusting the straps. "Lead the way, mysterious stranger." "Oh, so we're back to that?" His grin widened. "And here I thought sharing a cave all night would make us more intimate." "In your dreams," Luna shot back, then immediately regretted it as their bond flooded with his mischief. "Careful," Alex warned, stepping close enough that she could feel his body heat. "I can tell when you're lying now, remember? And speaking of the bond," he paused dramatically. "I should probably mention the marriage requirement." Luna nearly tripped over her own feet. "The what?" "Oh, yes," Alex continued, his face serious but their connection buzzing with suppressed laughter. "According to ancient Iridian law, water-bonded pairs must marry within a lunar cycle, usually followed by mandatory procreation. Very strict rules about it." Luna's heart skipped several beats before she caught the gleam in his eye. "You're making that up." "Am I?" He raised an eyebrow. "Care to risk it?" She shoved him, but couldn't quite suppress her own smile. "You're impossible." They set out across the desert, Alex leading them on a path that seemed random but which Luna increasingly suspected was anything but. Their bond had grown stronger overnight, and now she could sense not just his emotions but fragments of thoughts, flashes of intention. Around midday, Luna felt a strange tingling in her fingertips. She stopped, staring at the sand beneath her feet. There was something there, just below the surface, an energy signature she'd never noticed before. "Alex," she called out, "look at this." He turned back, watching as she knelt and pressed her hand to the sand. The moment she made contact, images flooded her mind. People walking this same path centuries ago, carrying vessels of water, their bodies marked with familiar symbols. "The bond," Alex said softly, crouching beside her. "It's awakening abilities that were always there, just dormant. You can read the desert's memories now." Luna looked up at him, understanding dawning. "You knew this would happen." "I hoped," he admitted, "but I couldn't be sure until—" A low rumble cut him off. The ground beneath them began to shake. "Sandworm!" Luna scrambled to her feet, but Alex caught her arm. "Watch," he commanded, raising his free hand. Energy crackled around his fingers, and suddenly a shimmering barrier sprang into existence around them. Through their bond, Luna felt the effort it took him to maintain it. The massive creature burst from the sand mere meters away, its segmented body towering above them. But when it struck Alex's barrier, it recoiled as if hit by solid steel. "That's new," Luna breathed, watching the worm retreat back into the depths. "Not new," Alex corrected, letting the barrier fall. Sweat beaded on his forehead. "Just remembered, like your ability to read the sand." They pressed on, the desert growing hotter as the day progressed. Luna found herself increasingly aware of Alex, not just through their bond, but physically. The way he moved, the subtle shifts in his expression, how his presence seemed to fill any space he occupied. "You're staring," he said without looking back, "just trying to figure you out. You could try asking. Would you actually answer?" This time he did look back, and the intensity in his eyes made her breath catch. "Try me." Before she could respond, another tremor shook the ground. This one wasn't a worm. The vibration pattern was wrong. The sand beneath their feet began to shift, forming a sinkhole. "Alex!" Luna reached for him as the ground gave way. Their hands met, and suddenly they were falling together into darkness. They landed in what appeared to be an ancient chamber, its walls covered in the same symbols they'd seen in the cave. Alex's light stick illuminated smooth stone surfaces that hadn't seen light in centuries. "Are you hurt?" he asked, helping her up. Their bond thrummed with mutual concern. "I'm fine, but—" Luna trailed off as she took in their surroundings. "This is a waypoint," Alex finished. "One of many built by those who came before, those who knew the desert's secrets." His hand was still holding hers, thumb tracing absent patterns on her skin. "Your people," Luna said quietly. "The departed." He didn't deny it. "We had our reasons for leaving. And now, he turned to face her fully, and through their bond she felt his internal struggle. "Now we need to find our way back." Luna's free hand came up to touch the symbol on his wrist. "Why me? Why this bond?" "Because some connections were meant to be restored." His other hand cupped her cheek, and this time there was no teasing in his touch. "Speaking of which, there's one more ancient ritual we should probably observe." "What's that?" "Well," his thumb brushed her lower lip. "According to tradition, if a bonded pair doesn't seal their connection with a kiss by sunset, they both die horrible deaths." Luna felt his amusement through their bond, but also something deeper, more genuine. "You're lying again. Want to risk it?" She didn't. Rising on her toes, she pressed her lips to his. The contact sent a shock through their bond, amplifying every sensation. Alex's arms wrapped around her, pulling her closer as the kiss deepened. Through their connection, she felt his surprise give way to pleasure, then triumph. When they finally broke apart, he was grinning. "I should probably mention I made that part up too." Luna stared at him for a long moment, then burst out laughing. "I'm going to kill you." "No, you won't." He brushed back her hair, their bond humming with shared affection. "You like me too much now. I can feel it." She couldn't deny it. Their connection made lying impossible. Instead, she asked, "So what other ancient rituals should I know about?" "Oh, there are many," Alex said, his eyes twinkling. "But we should probably focus on getting out of here first. Unless—" He waggled his eyebrows suggestively. Luna pushed him away, still laughing. "Focus, Alex." "I am focused." He activated another light stick, illuminating more of the chamber. "On many things, like how beautiful you look when you laugh." Their bond transmitted his sincerity, making her cheeks warm. But before she could respond, something caught her eye, a series of symbols on the far wall, arranged in a pattern she recognized from her earliest studies. "Alex," she called, moving closer to the wall. "Look at this." He joined her, and through their connection, she felt his recognition. "The map," he said softly. "Just where it was supposed to be." Luna turned to him sharply. "You knew this was here?" "I knew there was a chance." He met her gaze steadily. "Just like I knew there was a chance I'd find you in the desert. Some things are written in more than just sand." The implications of that statement hung between them, heavy with promise and possibility. Their bond thrummed with shared understanding. This was more than coincidence, more than chance. This was destiny, written in ancient symbols and sealed with water and kisses. "So," Alex said, breaking the moment with his usual lightness, though their bond revealed the deeper currents beneath his casual tone. "Ready to follow the map?" Luna looked at him, this mysterious man who had walked into her life with ancient secrets and impossible abilities, who had awakened something in her that she'd never known existed. "Lead the way," she said. "Partner." His smile could have lit the chamber without the light sticks. Taking her hand, he started studying the map, their bond humming with shared purpose and growing affection. The journey ahead would be dangerous, but Luna couldn't help feeling that the real adventure had already begun, not with the search for water, but with the connection that now bound them together. 3 days of following the ancient map led them to a massive structure rising from the desert like a metallic mountain. Luna's breath caught at the sight. The entire building was covered in symbols identical to Alex's tattoo, their surfaces gleaming despite centuries of exposure to sand and wind. "The wellspring," Alex said softly. Through their bond, Luna felt his mix of reverence and apprehension. "Home of the first waters." Luna tore her gaze from the structure to study his face. "You've known where this was all along." "Yes." He met her eyes steadily. "Just like I knew you'd be the one to come looking for it." "Why didn't you tell me? Would you have believed me?" His hand found hers, their bond surging with shared energy. "Would you have trusted me if I'd told you everything at the beginning?" Luna wanted to argue, but he was right. Their connection had grown organically, built on shared experiences and gradually revealed truths. Still, "No more secrets, Alex. Not now." He nodded, leading her toward the entrance. "The truth, then. My people, the ones you call the departed, we didn't just leave. We were chosen, sent ahead to prepare the way." "Prepare for what?" "For this moment." They reached the entrance where a massive door bore the familiar triple circle symbol. "For when our peoples would need to be reunited." Luna's mind raced. The water crisis on my world was predicted centuries ago. Alex placed his hand on the door and it hummed to life. Just like the drought here on Iridia, both were signs that it was time. The door slid open, revealing a vast chamber filled with ancient technology. At its center stood a pillar of light, pulsing with energy that made their bond sing in response. "The source," Luna breathed. "It's real. More than real." Alex guided her forward. "It's alive, and it's been waiting for us." They approached the pillar and Luna felt the power washing over her in waves. Through their bond, she could sense Alex's emotions intensifying, anticipation mixed with a deep sadness that made her heart clench. "There's something you're not telling me." He stopped, turning to face her. "The source can only be claimed by one person, one people." His hands cupped her face, thumbs tracing her cheekbones. "Your people need it more than mine do." Understanding dawned. "No," Luna said firmly. "There has to be another way." "There isn't." His smile was gentle but final. "This was always the plan. Why do you think I was sent to find you? To form the bond?" "To help activate the source," Luna realized, "but not to share it." The bond was necessary. Alex's forehead pressed against hers. Through their connection, she felt his conviction warring with his desire to stay with her. "But what happens next?" That has to be your journey alone. I won't let you sacrifice everything. I'm not sacrificing everything. He pulled back enough to meet her eyes. The bond remains. No matter where we are, we'll always be connected. Always be able to feel each other. It's not enough, Luna whispered, even as she felt the truth of his words through their connection. It has to be. Alex's hand slid down to her shoulders. For now. Before she could protest further, he stepped away, moving to one of the ancient control panels. Symbols lit up under his touch, and the pillar of light began to pulse faster. Place your hand on the central column, he instructed. When the energy peaks, you'll need to accept the source's power. It will know what to do. Luna hesitated, torn between duty and desire. Through their bond, she felt Alex's gentle encouragement mixed with his own struggle to let her go. Your people need you, Luna. His voice was soft but firm. And mine need me to ensure this happens as it was meant to. Fighting back tears, Luna approached the pillar. The moment her hand touched it, energy surged through her body, making their bond flare like a supernova. She gasped as ancient knowledge flooded her mind, the history of both their peoples, the true purpose of the source, the destiny that had been set in motion centuries ago. Alex, she called out, her voice strained. I understand now why they chose you, why they sent you to me. I know. Through their connection, she felt his pride, his love, his acceptance of what must be. Take it, Luna. Take the source. Save your people. The energy built to a crescendo. Luna felt the moment of choice approaching. Accept the source and gain the power to save her world, or reject it and keep Alex by her side. Through their bond, she felt him urging her forward, his certainty giving her strength. With a cry that was both triumph and grief, Luna accepted the source's power. Light exploded through the chamber, and she felt the ancient technology integrating with her very being. Knowledge of water control, of desert mastery, of powers her people had forgotten. It all became part of her. When the light faded, she found Alex watching her with a mixture of awe and sadness. It's done. Luna flexed her new abilities, feeling the desert respond to her will. What happens now? Now. He stepped closer, his hand reaching for hers one last time. Now you return to your people. Show them what you've learned. Prepare them for what's coming. And you? I have my own task. His smile didn't quite reach his eyes. But this isn't goodbye. Not really. Their bond hummed between them, as strong as ever despite the changes wrought by the source. Luna could feel his certainty that they would meet again, his dedication to the greater purpose they both now served. Kiss me, she demanded suddenly, not because of some made-up ritual, not because of the bond. Just kiss me goodbye. Alex's hand tangled in her hair as he pulled her close. The kiss was desperate and sweet, filled with promises neither of them could voice. Through their connection, emotions flowed freely. Love, loss, hope, determination. When they finally parted, Alex pressed something into her hand, a small device bearing their shared symbol. When the time comes, he whispered, this will lead you back to me. How will I know when? You'll feel it. He stepped back, though their bond made the distance meaningless. Through what we share, through what we've always shared. Luna clutched the device, memorizing his face, storing away every detail of this moment. I'll find you, she promised, no matter how long it takes. I know. His smile this time was genuine, reaching his eyes and warming their connection. After all, we're bound by more than just water now. She turned to go, the source's power thrumming through her veins, their bond a constant reminder of what she was leaving behind. At the doorway, she paused for one last look. Alex stood tall among the ancient machines, his tattoo glowing faintly in the chamber's light. Through their connection, she felt his final message, not goodbye, but until we meet again. Luna stepped out into the desert, her new powers already reaching out to tame the hostile environment. She had a mission to complete, a people to save, and a promise to keep. And somewhere out there, connected to her by bonds stronger than distance or time, Alex would be waiting. The desert stretched before her, no longer an enemy but a path to be walked. Luna smiled, feeling their bond pulse with shared purpose and hope. This wasn't an ending. 3 months later, on a distant space station orbiting Iridia, Alex stood before a wall of holographic displays, each showing different regions of the desert planet below. His tattoo glowed faintly in the dim light as he traced patterns between various energy signatures. The door behind him hissed open. "Sir," a voice called, "we've detected something unusual. The ancient beacons. They're activating, all of them, simultaneously." Alex's hand froze mid-motion. Through his bond with Luna, light years away, he felt a sudden surge of alarm that matched his own. "Show me." The display shifted, revealing dozens of structures similar to the wellspring, each pulsing with renewed energy. Between them, lines of power began forming, creating a massive pattern visible from orbit, an exact match for the symbol on his wrist. "Impossible," his assistant whispered. "The prophecy said this wouldn't happen for another—" "Time moves differently in the desert," Alex cut in, his mind racing. He could feel Luna's growing awareness through their bond, knew she was seeing similar signs on her world. "Send word to the council. Tell them it's happening sooner than we expected." The convergence? No. Alex's eyes narrowed as new symbols began appearing in the ancient pattern, ones he'd never seen before. Something else, something bigger. His communicator chimed. The message displayed was simple, but it made his blood run cold. The first waters were just the beginning. The true test comes with the second flood. Find her before they do. Alex's hand instinctively went to his tattoo, which burned beneath his touch. Through their bond, he sent an urgent warning to Luna, knowing she wouldn't receive the specifics but hoping she'd sense the danger. Because if his suspicions were correct, the water bond they shared wasn't just about saving their peoples. It was about preventing something far worse from rising from the desert's depths. And somewhere out there, others were waking up. Others who bore different marks, who served different masters, who had waited centuries for this exact moment. The game was about to change, and this time, water wouldn't be enough to save them. In the eternal sands of Iridia, ancient powers stir, and the real story begins. The screen fades to black as a single message appears in the ancient script of the departed. "When the 3 circles break, the 4th shall rise. Remember the covenant." Well, well, well. Look who made it through all that sand without getting dehydrated. Asterisk winks, asterisk. You know, between you and me, Luna and Alex aren't the only ones with secrets. I've got a whole vault of untold stories about what really happened in those desert caves. The kind of tales that would make even a sandworm blush, if sandworms could blush, that is. And don't think I didn't notice you getting a bit hot and bothered during that water bond scene. Yes, you. I saw that smile. Trust me, if you thought that was steamy, you should see what's in my notes for their next adventure. Let's just say some bonds get a lot more interesting when you add a little desert heat. But here's the real secret. While you were busy shipping our blue-skinned beauty and her mysterious tattooed man, you might have missed a few breadcrumbs I scattered in the sand. Tiny little hints about what's really lurking beneath those ancient ruins. Remember that symbol on Alex's wrist? Look closely. It's not quite what it seems. Until our paths cross again in the dunes, keep your water flasks full and your bonds strong. And maybe, just maybe, check your own wrist from time to time. You never know when mysterious symbols might start appearing. Mischievously yours, a keeper of desert tales.